All right. So what we're doing is basically we're talking to different West Campus alumni in different stages of their life. And so what we did is we collected questions from underclassmen that they would like to ask their future selves, kind of thing. But obviously, we can't see the future. So we thought, well, we'll just talk to alumni who are in different stages of their lives, basically, like some people who just graduated, some people who are well into their careers, to sort of get the different perspectives and then compile them and also have information so people can reach out. Are you okay with having like your email public so like students can reach out and ask questions?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thanks. So would you mind just giving like a brief introduction for the camera, like your name, where you're going, what your major is, and any career plans you have?
Sorry, name. Sorry, you cut out. Say that
Oh,
again.
just your name, where you're going, any career plans you have, and what you're majoring in now and stuff like that.
Okay,
Any
cool.
information you think would be relevant.
Okay, cool. Um, Hi, my name is Miriya. I'm a freshman at Williams College, and I'm planning to major in economics and Chinese. My career goals are potentially a career in finance or economic policy. Williams College is in the East Coast, in the middle of nowhere, Massachusetts. So that was a big jump for me. And it's a great school. It's a small liberal arts school. And yeah, it's been a great year.
All right, so we usually like to ask like, how would you say your average day looks? Like, what's your schedule looking like right now?
Yeah.
And has that been a
Um,
big adjustment?
Actually, today was my last day of classes, but
Oh, really?
usually I have Chinese every single morning at 9 a.m. And then I structured my schedule so that I have back-to-back classes. So like I'll have math every Tuesday, Thursday after Chinese, and then this history on Chinatowns class after my math class Tuesday, Thursday. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday after Chinese, I have Intro to Computer Science. And then Fridays, I also have a voice lesson, which Williams offers for free. So,
Oh, really? How would you say the class size differs from like West Campus? I don't know the
mhm.
exact population of Williams College. Is it like about the same, or and
Oh, yeah.
would you say you
Yeah. So
prefer the smaller sizes, or?
Williams College is like 2,200 students, so it's about the size of McClatchy. I actually really enjoy going to a small school. The class sizes are roughly the same as West campuses, although I will say that I half of my classes are smaller than West Campus class size. So like my Chinese class only has 7 people. My History of Chinatown's class is a seminar, so that has 20 people. And then my lecture-based classes are like no more than 35. And even 35, I think, is like pushing it. I'd say it's more like 30 max. So it's really great because in lectures I can ask my professor questions, whereas like in a bigger lecture setting, I might not feel as comfortable to ask. And you get a lot more of individualized attention, like especially for language learning, which is super important. And so I've definitely grown a lot in my Chinese because I have like 7 people in my class.
Mhm. So we asked students, like I said, we asked them what they would say to their future selves. And a frequent question we got is, what challenges did we face or did you face, and what did we learn from them? So I don't know if you want to talk about new either challenges you faced in high school that people might relate to, or new challenges you faced sort of navigating the journey or the transition into college, and what you have sort of learned from them so people can get an idea of what they're going to be up against.
Yeah. It's a good question. I feel like at West Campus, a lot of students struggle with placing a lot of their self-worth in their academic performance. And that's something I dealt with a lot throughout high school, and that's something that you'll still deal with even in college. But I feel like I've grown a lot through high school and especially this year, in that there's so many different ways to define success. And I think trying to redefine success for yourself in like maybe how you've grown as a person, like maybe something new that you've learned, something new that you discovered that you're really excited about, like that can also be success. And so this this year I got my first ever B plus, my first ever non-A grade. And like yes, I was upset at the beginning, but like I think I've realized a lot this year that I've grown in so many different ways just coming to college, and I've built up a lot of resilience, and I think that's one way I'm choosing to define success. So I think that's definitely something I struggled with and something I learned coming to Williams.
Yeah, I think that's really good to hear just how people sort of you kind of change your expectations or you kind of change your perspective once you make that jump. You're not so focused on, I mean, obviously you're still going to deal with it. And a lot of people have talked about sort of imposter syndrome, like
Yeah.
either feeling like they need to stay at this high standard the whole time or like they need to or they haven't met it or like kind of
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think that's really good to hear about. And we also like to ask, so we know what your average day was like, but what would you say your craziest day has been?
Mm, my craziest day. I think it definitely depends on what extracurricular commitments I have. Oh, I only talked about my classes for my average day. Sorry. Sorry. Going back to my average day, I have like a cappella rehearsal like 3 times a week, and that's usually at nighttime. And then I might have a board meeting or another club meeting at night. Anyways, okay, my craziest day, I'd say it was when I probably Tuesdays or Thursdays when I have back-to-back classes. During the fall semester, I was in a musical, and so I'd have rehearsal from like 6 to 10 p.m. And so that was really rough. And then sometimes I'd have rehearsal from 6 to 10 p.m. and then I'd have a cappella rehearsal right after that until like 11:30, 11:30 p.m. So those were definitely my craziest days. And then like in between my classes and 6 p.m. rehearsal, I'd be going to office hours. Oh, that's something else about my schedule. Like every day I'm at my professor's office hours or TA hours. Um, so yeah, that was yeah.
What would be like, what do you have like a story that encapsulates like Williams' experience or like the most fun you've ever had at Williams?
Okay, so fun versus like I think a story that encapsulates the Williams learning and like academic experience is I've gone to the office hours for my linear algebra class, and my professor she holds office hours twice a week, and on Tuesday she holds them from 2:30 to 3:50, but she ended up staying and working with me and one other student until 6 p.m. So I was literally in her office from like 2 to 6 p.m. and she loved helping us, and I've consistently been staying in her office until like 6 p.m. whenever we have office hours. So I think that's just really characteristic of how much the professors at Williams College and a small liberal arts school cares for you and your education and your learning. I'd say the most fun I've had at Williams. Mountain Day is something that's very unique to Williams. It's basically a fall like festival where the president of Williams cancels school on a random Friday, and all of the students hike up a mountain, and when they come down the mountain, they're serenaded by a cappella groups, and they eat apple donuts and apple cider. It's very interesting, but it's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun. You as a freshman, you get waken up at like 5 in the morning, and all the upperclassmen come and like bang on your door, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you. I mean, we don't want to keep you for super long, so we just have a couple more questions. But one of the questions we also like to ask is, well, what would you say to your past self? What's a piece of advice you would give yourself or you would give people now? Like, for example, what could you have done differently, or what do you recommend that people do now to prepare themselves in the best way for their futures?
I think there's like so many different ways I could answer this. Um, I'd say I think find what you're passionate about. Don't always chase the grade. And I think once you find what you're passionate about, look at the schools that have programs that support your passions. Something else I am a strong advocate for is always seeking help, being proactive. Like recognize when you need help. That's honestly one of the biggest steps. And once you recognize that you need help, don't be afraid to get that help. You have to be proactive, especially if you're going to a big school, to find those resources to help you. But once you get those resources, once you get your help, like it makes so much of a difference. And you're paying for your education, so make sure you use all of the resources at your school.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I think a lot of people who set their expectations really high or like hold themselves to a really high standard, they sort of fall into the pitfall of like not being willing to ask for help because like I don't know, maybe they're in a class with a lot of really smart people or people they view
Yeah.
as really intelligent, so they don't want to sort of seem weak at all. And I know we've heard from a lot of different people, and a lot of them have talked about the competitiveness at like large colleges. I'm sure it's a different experience there, but a lot of people have talked about how competitive the classes seem. So I'm sure people can definitely struggle with reaching out for help or using office hours or all that kind of stuff, and they feel like they just need to figure it out on their own. So it's really good to hear.
Yeah, I think if you want to stand out, like you might not be the smartest person in the room, but one of the best ways you can stand out is like building those connections with your professors and being proactive. And your work ethic can make you stand out. Because I feel like after coming here, like I'm by far not half as smart as like most of the people here. But I feel like my work ethic and being proactive and wanting to build those connections with people is what have made me stood out, what has made me stand out. And so I think that's definitely a way you should approach your learning.
All right, well, thank you. We do have another meeting coming up, so we're probably gonna
Yeah.
wrap this one up, but I don't know if there are any final thoughts or words of advice or just something short you would like to say to people now who are in the same position you were in 4 years ago or a few years ago.
I think look through all the options. Don't always go to a UC. There's so many other options out there and find what's best for your learning style. Like it's a learning process for yourself as well. Like how do you learn best? What environment do you want to be in? Those are all very important things to consider. Yeah.
Okay,
All right, well, thank you.
Thank
We'll-
you.
All right, well, we'll
Good,
end the
good luck
recording
on
now.
your senior project.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you
Bro,
for
you
your
said it
time.
was 30 minutes. It was like 15. Okay.
Well, sorry, we kind of have a
Okay.
lot of them coming up today, so we
No,
had to
you're
we had
good.
to make some
You're good.
cuts.
You're good.
But,
You're good. Okay.
yeah,
Bye.
we're
Good
gonna
luck.
take it part. All right, thanks. Bye.